Hello and welcome to Hint Plays. I'm K25FF and I'll be your games master today. Hint Plays is a channel for RPGs and tabletop gaming from Hobby Gamers International. We run games on a 3-week rotation with a rotating cast of players and games masters. We also do occasional specials where we look at new games, play online board games and chat about all things gaming. Today I'll be running Deeper Dreams, a Pathfinder 1st edition campaign in a homebrew setting. With me today are Lexi, Riggs, Shard, and Z. And without further ado, let's begin. Last time on Deeper Dreams, the 17th squad brought a weird thought-eating creature, a so-called Callborn, home to their headquarters. It was there that they discovered that they were somehow being surveilled by small arthropods. Their headquarters were bugged, and their friend was even talking to one of the bugs for some reason. They discovered her name, Ike, and very little about the source of these bugs other than it was an acquaintance of hers. And thus, the squad went to visit the EOD, the Egregoric Order of Dreamers, and examine what they were doing with midnight oil, inhaling its fumes and recording the strange utterances they made while under its effects. Tim even volunteered and proceeded to have some vivid dreams, from the depths of some sort of sea to drifting through the starry dark. Precisely what these mean, and precisely what the weird garbled sentences they uttered when they woke mean, that's another story. Who's bugging the headquarters? Why was Ike so cagey about her name? What's a Colborn, and can their new friend be returned to their people without their people subsequently wiping everyone's memories? Well, maybe we'll find out today. Remember, the dreams of Catharon are perilous. Tread carefully. Now, I believe you are in your headquarters, talking to your
Yes.
new friend about why everything is glowing, except it's not glowing, because none of you can see it.
Wait, our friend was saying everything is glowing?
Well, the Colborn, the Thought Eater,
I see.
was talking about how everything is glowy, in a sort of general sense.
Wait, does everything mean everything and also the outside of our headquarters? Or.
Let me find my notes on what they said about this. Ah, yes. Ah, it is so very bright here. Something was known here that was so bright it has seared the stones of the passing of its memory. A secret that was so luminescent that we would probably have rendered it to Atlathaka, our archive, to keep it safe and to keep it from burning too brightly. It passed through here and is gone now. This wonders what it was.
Oh.
So you can only see the path of the memory. You can't see anything of it anymore.
Yes, it is embedded in the walls here. It would be, this thing's rather difficult for bipeds to detect, as it is old and you do not have the right senses. It
Is there any,
tastes similar to light, to being burned and screaming.
That's not good.
When it says taste, its telepathy breaks down slightly. The term is rather like taste, but refers to how thoughts taste, so it doesn't really translate properly.
Cool. I love that I had a
Yes,
plan for this session and I was gonna do things, and we're 5 minutes in and I'm already off track.
that's all right. Lots of that 5 minutes was recap, so you didn't even take that long to get off track.
Because, this is. You go first, Chard.
Oh, I was just gonna.
Yes.
Does this detect any thoughts or memories from the machine outside of our door?
The thing outside the door, this can see it, so it's there, but not particularly. It doesn't seem to be thinking very much.
That's unfortunate. We can
But-
pretend that it thinks anyway.
Yes.
Oh, it does think, but just not very much.
Anyway.
What
Fair
Or
enough.
not very
kind?
often. It seems to have a mind, which is odd for an object, but yes, this can see it now, and it points in the direction of the door, which is closed. So, yes, it is a thing that can think, but it is not very talkative. Does that make sense?
Certainly.
I think so.
But yes, the thought, the residue or the thoughts or the echoes in the walls here are, yes, they taste of blinding light, being burned, screaming, and yes, there's a distinct taste of knowing too much. Eventually, an impression that strong will fade, or it will cool and form a self-reinforcing semi-ethereal manifestation. This thinks the word in your language is a haunt? Should you wish,
Yes.
any of you could roll knowledge religion. And this is
want
a knowledge
someone
religion you
to
this is
roll
a knowledge religion you can roll untrained. Oh, sorry.
Okay. If it's untrained, I'm gonna roll it.
23.
Yep. I'll get back to you.
13. Very appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else got any rolls?
I only got 6, so doesn't
Okay.
count.
Okay.
No.
Right. So, midnight with you got a 13, you said?
Yes.
Well, the maximum you can effectively roll on a untrained knowledge roll is 10, but that's enough. So the distinction between a trap and an undead creature blurs when you introduce a haunt, a hazardous region created by unquiet spirits that react violently to the presence of the living. And this is sort of getting into more of what Tim would have got at with the much higher roll, which is like the exact conditions that cause a haunt to manifest vary from case to case, but haunts always arrive from a source of terrific mental or physical anguish endured by living tormented creatures.
Wait.
It must have been very unpleasant, whatever this was, to threaten a manifestation of a haunt.
But that means that this is probably what happened to the 17 squad before us.
Or something that they
Maybe.
did.
Yeah.
Your thought-eating friend has no
Or
opinion on
the
that because
17th.
they were not here then.
So just
I mean,
Sorry, Lexi?
the 17th. Or the 17th that was before the 17th.
Yes.
Well, none
The
of
one
you
bef-
have had particularly unpleasant experiences
another
here, so... Have any of you died horribly here yet?
maybe.
Oh yeah. Some people don't have extensive memories. That's true. Could have happened.
So if I'm getting this right, basically a situation arose in which something happened here that came very close to creating a haunt, in which
There was a bright light.
Yes, probably.
And
It was not
bad.
not necessarily a physical light, but it was knowledge that tasted of light. Your friend is having trouble getting this across in your language,
That's
that
okay.
is
even
alternate
telepathically,
religions,
because it's
We
sort
appreciate
of
you trying.
automatically translated.
Can you put the sensation that you are seeing, feeling, thinking of it into my head so that maybe I can try and understand better?
This can try. It will reach out and touch you on the forehead with its very long index and middle fingers, and
My head explodes.
suddenly no, you get the strong impression of something extremely bright, something that screams, and something that gives you the strong impression that you know too much.
That sounds like a familiar feeling that I always have, though.
Interesting.
Well, that's what you get from that.
I think at some point, someone, maybe of the 17th, previous 17th, or someone that they were interrogating, they were using something or brought something in or something tracked them here and did so because they had gathered too much information on said thing.
That isn't the river killer, though, right?
We don't know. We haven't seen any of the victims yet, and we don't understand how they're killed or where they're killed. So, I mean, we can make all the correlations we want, but we have very little to go on the river killer. And two different people have told us that we should probably not go that direction.
What is a river killer?
I mean,
Oh
yeah,
dear.
but since when are we listening to people?
The river killer is some creature that has been murdering people alongside the river, presumably, or rather, the bodies of these murdered people are found further downriver and brought back for examination.
In
And
the
it has,
sewers specifically, right?
I'm not so sure. I don't think that the river killer has anything to do with the sewers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all been.
I think some various things have been discussed about that. Let's see if I can find some information.
Yeah, because we asked Erg
From what
about
we
it,
last told about it.
and Erg Thimitich was one of the ones that was like, yeah, probably shouldn't.
Wait, didn't that person want us
So
to investigate the river killer?
Yes.
yes, I think they told you that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Rex.
I did not say anything.
Oh, sorry.
Not at least.
Let's see. It was Othimitic asked specifically for information on the river killer, but also gave you a warning that if it was what it thought it was, then
Ah,
it was extremely dangerous and you shouldn't approach them.
we shouldn't
Yeah.
approach the river. Okay, yeah, got it.
And it's Erg Thimitich that basically lives in the deep sewers.
Yeah.
I don't know about deep, but it's certainly
It's like
they
two
certainly
levels
live
down.
in the sewers in this big cistern.
Yeah.
Because one of the things Midnight wanted to do is talk to whoever has examined the victims of the river killer.
We do want to talk to them and see if there are any victims that we can look at ourselves.
Yeah.
And see if there's anything we can glean.
And then we have an illicit bottle of drugs in Midnight's backpack that we would want to drop off with someone trustworthy to like discover what is in there.
Mm-hmm. It's too bad we don't have an apothecary of our own.
There is the apothecary trading machine, although exactly what it knows about things may or may not be a bit vague.
It might be. Can we is there an address on the machine that we could you know how a lot of machines have the thing that is if this breaks down, contact X. Like, is there something like that on it?
Do you want to go and have a look at the apothecary trading machine?
Yes, because
Oh
like
no.
It is a squat
Okay.
squarish, so you can just basically open the door and it's across the alley from the headquarters of the 17th Squad. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem to have moved since you last looked. Anyway, it's a sort of squat squarish machine of metal and ceramic, like a glass-fronted cabinet, with cheery letters across the top proclaiming it to be a apothecary trading machine.
Yeah.
You want to examine it further?
Yes.
You approach it. Okay.
And you
Do you want
poke
to
it with
roll
a
some
stick.
sort of perception to have to
I
to
think
poke
that
it with a stick? Yeah.
yes. I would like to like I'm basically looking for the plaque that says like cuz like I don't think Midnight knows any apothecaries. Like they just
There
want
is a. You're around the corner from an alchemical supply shop.
Yeah.
So that's just down the end of the alley. But
Mhm.
again, that's not quite an apothecary.
Yeah.
There's apothecaries around in the city, but
Okay. I'm
none
just going to
none
roll a
nearby.
perception check and we'll see where this goes.
Does this perception check involve handling the machine in any way?
Yes, definitely. I'm just going to
Okay. I will
Oh,
make
dear.
a note of that.
I rolled an 11.
Okay. Don't mind that I just rolled something too.
Yes.
You just sort of look it over. It is almost, apart from the fact that it has a front panel which is made of glass that you can see like rows of bottles behind, containing various different liquids and prices on them listed and all this sort of stuff. It doesn't seem like, there's a slot in the front to put money in. This is all quite odd. This is, while I am describing something that you, the human, knows to be a vending machine, this is really quite novel.
Yeah.
It's a thing. You can hear it gently clicking slowly over time. It just sort of continually makes this kind of tick 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 noise, but that just seems to be continuous.
Oh god, it's a bomb.
And you don't see any, like, you can gently pull it away from the wall, and there's nothing on the back. There's nothing on the sides. You can lie down. It's up on little feet, so you can look underneath it. And there are no obvious marks.
Interesting. So
there
there's
are no obvious.
nothing saying like this is manufactured here, like.
It does not have any maker's marks.
Cool. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna pet it because like apparently this is a sentient being, so I'm definitely gonna like give it a little pat and actually, is this something we want to do together, like as a party?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yes. Also, I was thinking of. Yeah, to try and talk to the apothecary machine and see if it can actually help us with the midnight oil. Using this.
That makes sense.
I was gonna go to the apothecary across the road, but
never mind.
I mean, I'm okay with trying to talk to the apothecary machine.
It doesn't think
no
very
idea.
much. It's
You have no idea if it can understand you, but
that
it
is
might.
true. It doesn't hurt to try. So this, it might not be loud thought-wise, but can you relay to it some means of our thoughts? I would like to see if it's okay with us talking to it through you to try and have a conversation.
It seems entirely ambivalent to your presence.
Hey,
Also, I think it can understand you.
but we can't understand it necessarily, which is why I was hoping that it could relay its thoughts through you. That's what I was hoping for.
This will try.
If it
Okay.
speaks in binary, I'm gonna lose it.
Oh, that would be great. That'd be fantastic, especially since K2 would have to read it.
That would be the best thing.
Oh,
All
don't
right.
test me.
So, Midnight, since you've got the midnight oil,
Midnight looks a little like they have like the airplane ears. Like they're not sure about this. Like they are willing to believe that this is a machine with sentience, but they take their job seriously enough. I think that they're like, shouldn't we go talk to like an expert on this?
I
But they're
think
like, they're gonna play along and they're gonna take
I
it
feel
out
so
and
bad
they're
for
gonna like
Midnight, because
show it
none of us
to
are
the
taking our
machine.
job seriously.
I think the
Okay.
best expert here is the machine. It obviously knows how to make potions without anyone telling it what to do.
Did it have like any way for things to get into it?
I don't know yet. We can
The
put
door,
money into
the
it.
door on the front, the door on the front opens.
Okay,
So
yes.
it might be possible to put things. It might be possible to put things in it. Like someone may come and stock it up somehow.
Cool.
Um,
Okay.
You have been told that it is somehow alive,
Mhm.
which is very odd, certainly. But does it do it? It's very difficult to say. You're not sure. You cannot see any mechanism for it to brew its own stuff because it's basically hollow.
Yeah.
And you can see all the way inside it through the door on the front. But okay, so what it's going to do is roll a will save against your friend's ability to read thoughts.
It doesn't want to talk to us.
Well, most of the time I've been assuming that if your Corborn friend actually tries and just keeps going, you're eventually going to fail a will save.
Yes.
Anyway.
Someday.
Uh-huh. Oh well, you know, you get taking one on a will save, etc. Yeah. The machine is there. It seems to be completely impassive and proclaiming to
So-
contain various potions.
We're wondering if you can help us with this potion, and maybe it will help you with more potions later. We have a sample of midnight oil, and we're wondering if you can, like, if we can put it in you, walk away, come back, and you can output a selection of what it's actually made of, potentially. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
Do I have
The
this-
machine. Oh, sorry.
You go first.
Go ahead. The machine does not obviously respond.
I try to open the door.
You attempt to open the door in which it keeps its valuables. Yes.
I'm not going to take anything.
The door.
Tell it.
There is no obvious. It doesn't. The door doesn't have a handle. If you
Okay.
put money in it, the door opens.
Oh, right. I'm going to put money in it then. How much money? What is the pricing of a basic healing potion?
First level potions I think cost something like 50 gold.
50? Dang. What's the cheapest potion in there?
That would be a 0th level potion of something weird. So that would be 25 gold.
Dang it. That's a lot of gold to open it up.
Or you could go for a discount. That's a possibility. There is such a thing as discount ones, by which I mean you will pay up to 40% less. But I get a big D100 table to roll on for some reason.
Is it worth it for me to pay 40% less and get a potion that might do something weird? Yes, it is.
Okay, do you want to get like a healing potion or something else?
I'm not picky. I'm
There's
not
a
going to know what
discount
it is.
rack. Oh, I was almost going to say something like it has like a cardboard box next to it with the discount stuff in it, but I feel that that's not secure enough. So it has a separate shelf which proclaims at the bottom, 40% off. Buyer beware.
Buyer beware.
So
I'm gonna
right
buy
at
the
the
most.
bottom.
I'm gonna buy the most violently colored one.
Okay, the most violently coloured one, you say. Okay, that will be 15 gold for a 0th level potion. Give me a second. There's not actually that many 0th level potions that work for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will roll you a d7 on my magic computer thing. Roll a d7. D7s
Midnight.
exist. They look quite lumpy. They look quite lumpy and weird.
Nice.
Do,
Hey,
do,
Midnight.
do.
Can you pour a little bit out of the vial into another vial? So
That's what I was
bit?
thinking. Yeah, I
Yeah.
I want to pour like a little bit of it so we have some left over to bring to an actual expert.
Why do you not? This is an actual
Well,
expert. Just in the opposite direction. Have faith.
I
you don't know if this is an expert or not. It may just sell things. It may be an expert in commerce.
It may be an expert in commerce, but
I have to stress here, Midnight has not experienced the machine enough, so they are just going off of what you tell them, and with what the squad has been telling Midnight, they are slightly dubious about everyone's levels of sanity.
I mean that's fair.
So you put in 15 gold, and the door of the machine pops open. And you can pick out a brilliantly violet-coloured potion of purified food and drink. Asterisk. Asterisk, if you use this, tell K2. It can, the spell Purify Food and Drink, basically does what it says. It makes spoiled, rotten, diseased, or poisonous, or otherwise contaminated food or water pure and suitable for eating or drinking.
Except we're not
I
totally
guess you
sure.
basically pour it on the thing that you want, up to 1 cubic foot of contaminated food and water. That's ridiculous.
It's pretty strong, but I'm thinking it's going to go
you could,
really
like-
sideways.
I'm sort of horrified by the idea that you could use it on like a cubic foot of soil and turn that into something on the grounds that, well, it doesn't say how spoiled. What's the limit?
But then it would just turn into like the matter that it was before, which would be like leaves and stuff, not necessarily edible
No,
things.
it's not that powerful. It's not that powerful.
Soil is like mostly clay and stuff and various other bits and pieces, so who
Depends
even
on
knows?
the part of the soil. I'm sorry, you're talking to an archaeologist. I have knowledge on this.
No, well, again, it's
It,
yeah,
it,
we're
it
thinking
doesn't.
about humus here.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I guess
reverse. It doesn't reverse decay. It gets rid of toxins and poisons. So it would make the dirt edible without killing you. Whether or not your body can digest whatever's in the dirt
I was
is
gonna
completely
say.
immaterial.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, we've got interesting definitions of food. Various other bits and pieces going on.
I mean, this doesn't eat food the way we do, but it has a mouth.
Yeah, it has a mouth. If you want to ask, it can point out that it doesn't actually have a digestive system, and it doesn't actually have. It sort of has lungs, but it can't speak. Like it can't use those to make noises.
Right.
So it doesn't breathe oxygen. It doesn't use oxygen to like exist.
No, it does breathe. It just doesn't. It's not set up in a way. It can't like blow, and therefore it can't make noise. It has no voice box.
I see. Yes.
So I'm going to take the potion out, and in place of the potion, in the spot where the potion was, I'm going to place the partial filled extra vial of midnight oil in there. in its place, and then close the
Uh
door.
huh.
hmm
The
We'll come
machine
back.
does nothing.
We're going to come
Yeah.
back, and it's going to be up on the top shelf selling for like 1,000 gold.
Yeah. Yep.
Premium midnight oil, which costs, in case you're
Mhm.
wondering, it costs 50 gold a dose actually, so it's not actually that bad.
Oh, nice.
And this is less than a dose, so
Wow.
I have no idea how much what you have produced will cost because, again, everything's a bit quantum, so things only exist in doses.
That is so valid. I think
You now have one dubious potion that might do things. Tell K2 when you use it, and I will roll on my beautiful, beautiful D100 table.
I am going
I
to.
I have no idea what it will do. I guess it
think
will transfer its weird effect onto the food that you're using it on. Don't worry about that too much.
I think I think
Sorry,
Tim,
I was
Tim should
interrupting you.
keep it since this is Tim's dastardly plan.
Uh-huh. So as you all turn to presumably go back into the your headquarters, you hear a scraping noise behind you. And if you look back, the machine has actually moved back flush with the wall from where Midnight pulled it away from the wall.
Interesting.
well,
In case you're
wait.
wondering.
Midnight didn't put it back.
Hey, I'm trying, okay? You're telling me that this machine thing is alive and I am believing you.
All right. Well, if you would
I
like
mean,
to
what does life mean, really? Etc.
Please
So-
do not give me an existential crisis.
So Midnight, you wanted to take this to the apothecary around the corner
I
and see
think
if
that's
they
a
are.
good idea, yes, to see with like
Thing is-
think of it as a second opinion.
Well, we're probably going to have
I would
to.
point out that this is an illegal substance.
Yeah, that's
It's not
that's where I was going to
illegal
go.
to own.
Yep.
It is illegal to sell.
Darn it.
But we are.
Do we have like
We work for this city. We are trying to figure something out. So.
Is there
we
like
can
an
potentially-
official? I guess should we wait? We should bring it to the Department of Sustenance. Obviously,
Yeah.
Yes, you could.
Does drugs
I'm
count as
sure they'd have strong
sustenance?
opinions about that.
I think
Drugs fall under the purview of the Department of Sustenance, yes.
I think that's
This
actually.
is something you just know.
Can
I'm
we go
thinking
to like do they have like an office here in the city?
Um.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Their head office is in the city. This is the capital of Caperon.
Cool.
Midnight.
Riggs seems to think that maybe we shouldn't. Maybe.
No, Riggs doesn't, and neither do I. Thump is shaking their head,
Yeah.
obviously. I don't think
And-
that we should.
Yes, then standing in the way of midnight, so they
But
cannot.
why should
go.
we not bring this? Like the department can help us figure out what this is, and
You
we
do know how.
obtained this legally,
It
and this
is-
is for our investigation.
Go ahead,
We
Riggs.
confiscated
Yes.
this.
Yes, we confiscated, but still, it's illegal. So I do not think it
It's
shall
illegal
be.
to sell.
Yeah.
Okay, but
It's not
how
actually
It's
illegal to
generally-
own it.
how else are we going to figure out what is in this and why it does what it does?
We find someone, talk to them, and see if they are willing to test it without trying to sell it or take it from us. The thing is if we take it to the Department of Sustenance, the departments don't exactly cooperate very much. We take this to them, they will take it and be like, yeah, okay, thank you for bringing that in because this belongs here. They will put it in their own evidence and they will never tell us about it again. We will never see that vial again. And they will give us no information about it. Unless somehow we find something to convince them to give us more information on. The departments don't really see eye to eye.
Is this something I know? Like, because like I don't know this as a player, but I assume that this is something my character would.
You could roll a d20 and add your intelligence modifier, and then maybe I have some things to tell you.
Oh no. Okay, Midnight is clearly very upset because they just rolled a natural 2, and what is my intelligence modifier? That's a 4 total.
Can I go ahead just so that I know? And
You know, we
try
really
and-
should just hand this to the proper authorities.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't. I want to make sure that I was.
You could roll. Yeah, you can roll and add your intelligence. You could be on the right track. You could not be on the right track. Roll and
I
add your
could be not.
intelligence modifier, and I can tell you things maybe.
Maybe 19.
Midnight, you're pretty convinced that you can take it. It goes to the place where the drugs go. That's where drugs go.
Yeah. That is very valid.
That was a 19, K2.
Okay, with a 19, you could probably go take it and then maybe ask some questions about it, like, oh wait, why is this so illegal? You're pretty skeptical about the idea of getting a straight answer about that, but it's possible if you are being particularly diplomatic. Like, it's not. Maybe there's informational pamphleting about it that says stuff other than this is highly illegal, you shouldn't take it. Maybe it has like a list of possible side effects or something somewhere. You know, dare to resist strange oil. That's possible.
Maybe.
I think if the whole group is against this, Midnight is going to like. They're not going to do this if other people like they do feel they're the junior member of the team, so they're going to take everyone else's opinions.
Honestly,
and like yeah.
My advice is we take it to the Department of Sustenance as last step / last resort. Because we need to follow up investigation stuff related to our investigations before losing
Then
track
the
of
question
evidence.
becomes, how do we find someone that is going to help us with this?
May I say it? May I say something?
Always.
My phone says.
Sure.
One moment. Maybe the appointment with the drug dealer know something?
Yeah,
Could that be a lead?
that
Because
is,
they must get it from somewhere.
that's why we set up the appointment so that we could talk to them and see about getting in on the operation, so it could lead us to potentially getting in deeper and pretending to
Yeah.
be criminals.
I'm worried that this is a drug dealer who just deals the drug, who doesn't necessarily make it or like know about it, but like we can go find out.
Also, they
Maybe.
probably want to kill us for asking around about it. So,
But I'm tough. I hope.
That would be entirely reasonable. Your appointment is tomorrow, and should you wish, I can say that it is tomorrow because that is within my power.
I think it makes sense because I think this is like we can do this and talk to the drug dealer and then go deal with like the river killer later. I think
Yeah,
so.
deal with. Yeah, that's definitely a thing that's within your power.
You know what I mean.
At least you're putting the river killer on the back burner instead of on the forefront, because I'm scared of that thing.
Look, I'm sure you'll be fine.
We're still level 1 characters.
Well, we're not gonna
Hey,
we're
maybe-
not gonna get stronger if we don't fight things. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. You do get XP for other things, I assume.
You
But-
also get dead for fighting.
Yeah.
It's big for you.
Also plausible.
Especially
I mean, again, like, whose fault is it that you guys aren't getting that much experience? Wait, it's mine? Darn. Well, this is awkward.
Okay. So,
Yeah, let's go talk to the drug dealer. We're gonna do the
Okay.
I can't do the song to make the time go faster. It's gone out of my brain, but y'all know the song.
Time goes faster, and we don't even get content ID'd. Okay, cool. It is now the 5th of June, 1386, in case you're wondering. So I'll try and remember to write that down at some point.
the 1000th
one of the
anniversary of our city.
Yep, it's the 1000th anniversary again. It's weird how they keep doing those all in a row. And yeah, you might. So you spend the night. I don't know if some of you go away to sleep in other places or just sleep in the headquarters. There are enough beds, and by the time you've done all your home improvements up until now, they're sort of reasonable beds. One of the things you will find out over the course of the night is that your new friend, the Corborn, doesn't sleep.
Oh dear. I don't know
Doesn't seem
if
to understand the need to.
I don't know if Midnight actually has a house. I feel like they do, but I think they're just gonna sleep in the barracks for tonight.
Yeah, at night it doesn't sleep and is unsettlingly silent as it sidles through the headquarters, occasionally examining walls or floors or ceilings. In case you're wondering.
Great.
It seems to be fully capable of moving
I'm
around
just
in
imagining
complete
everybody
darkness.
huddled up.
We've got cots. They just need to be dried out and
Yeah, and
fixed.
maybe your new friend will stand there and watch you sleep for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that make you feel better?
Yes, absolutely.
Actually, I feel like this would stand there and read our thoughts while we're dreaming.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Possibly.
yes.
Can we fast forward through this?
Oh, let's go. We're going agonizingly slowly through this. Depends how long it takes you to go to sleep. Yeah, no, it's the morning. And you can wake up, proceed through your morning. I don't know what time of day you'd want to go a drug dealing, but I assume you were previously aware of what time it was, so you can just go there.
I think it whatever time we set up didn't really have anything to do with night or day, simply because it's in the
Yeah, it'd be underground.
yeah.
Let's go
Okay.
talk to a drug dealer. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Well, would you like to be the face
We're not
person
role-
of our group, or would you like me?
We're not role models.
I mean, if I have to be the face, I will be.
Were you here when we set up the drug deal? I don't remember you being here when we did
No, I was not.
I don't think so.
Probably
don't
best
think so.
that.
I listened into that session, but I was
And
not
you-
playing.
What did you think
Okay.
of that session?
Uh,
Yeah.
So,
Hey, good decisions.
We are
you
chaotic.
you hop down through a manhole and travel through the sewers to the undermarket and then go a little bit, a short distance from the undermarket, or the down market, sorry, to where your meeting place was set up. It's near, actually, so one of the modus conveniences, modcons, which I'm pretty sure is not what modcon stands for, in the sewers are next to the ladders. They are these carefully carved stones that you can put your hand on and then you will be clean, as if by prestidigitation, for instance. And that's what you use before you go back up onto the streets, so you're not tracking mud everywhere.
That's
However,
cool.
you travel along a segment of sewer, go right at the broken one of the cleaning stones, and you find a small chamber that's mostly out of the muck. It seems to be some sort of side chamber. And you are greeted there by the by the human man who you met previously and who tried to sell you drugs, and also a gentleman who is about 8 foot tall and maybe 5 foot wide and is extremely strong looking
Uh-oh.
and is just looming a bit out of the way, and will just sort of glare at you all as you enter the chamber. So hi, says your drug dealer. Oh, you turned up. So you're looking to do some business, weren't you? Don't mind Grug here. Well, Grug hates thieves, you know. He just really hates them, don't you, Grug? Grug dislikes thieves. See? Grug consider thieves erosive to polite society.
Oh my god, this is great.
See? Grug, stop talking.
Oh wait, before we continue, did we decide to disguise and bring along this?
Did
This
you
is
want to
so
bring your weird friend with you?
bonkers, we may as well.
I mean, it's a creature that lives
I mean, honestly,
typically somewhere
this
underground
sounds
as
like
far
a
as
very
you've been
good
able to
asset for it.
determine.
Maybe
Okay,
they
the
may
drug
be
dealer
helpful.
looks askance at the coolborn you brought with you, because the coolborn you brought with you is actually quite a dangerous creature. So you brought your own dangerous monster with you.
Yes.
And there's this very large gentleman. Actually, if any of you want to roll knowledge local, you might be able to glean some information about this guy.
Even
he's not-
untrained?
Humans do not get that big. It's not untrained, I think.
Okay.
These people aren't particularly common around here.
Riggs,
The way
we
that-
need you.
We need you, Riggs. The way that you described this guy, my immediate thought was some sort of creature like a slod.
I'm thinking of Kronk,
No.
honestly.
This is a big humanoid, like a very. This is a implausibly large human-shaped creature.
Yeah.
With
I
like
got 21.
arms as thick as your head. This guy appears to be an ogre. You don't normally see them outside of the mountains, but they're the smallest of the giants, kind of. Although there are, the smallest of the giants is basically all you can say about them. They're big. They're not really very complicated. They don't have like special abilities really. They're just big.
This one seemed
They're
to
very
be
strong.
fairly intelligent, but he kept getting cut off. That just doesn't seem fair.
Grug consider Grug's self have heart of poet.
Oh, do you write a lot of poetry?
Grug is writing opera in spare time. It's about balance, good and evil, forbidden love, musical number. Grug working on second craft.
Oh, that sounds really cool. Hey, Greg, can I read that sometime?
Indeed, written in Jotun, native language.
Ah. Well, maybe I can learn, because that sounds really lovely. Or maybe you just want to tell me about it.
I believe Grug have much to say on nature of good and evil, how folk have place apart from beast able to choose.
And you wonder why we don't want to just make friends of everybody.
Grug's vocabulary far superior to Grug's grammar.
That's really
Grammar.
cool, dude.
All
It's
of your
really awesome
characters
that
are
you're
the
writing
best.
an opera. That's amazing.
Grammar is
Thank
unnecessary
you.
if you get the information across.
So you guys wanted to buy some drugs, yes? Please be quiet, Grug. Thank you.
Have we unsettled our seller?
Maybe.
The drug dealer is sweating, but maybe he was already sweating.
So
I need
we
someone else to take this because
Grog
I
seems entirely.
do not remember.
what I had originally
Well,
wanted to
I
set up.
believe Oximitic asked you to discover the source, maybe?
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
go
Yes.
ahead.
why I set this meeting up was because I wanted to get in on the business, not to buy drugs for myself, which I could have bought at the time. I want to get in on the business
Okay.
and have, some knowledge about how it works and potentially where it comes from. Because I have a lot of interest in this drug.
Well, so if you're interested in selling. Right, so if you're interested in selling, the system we have set up is you buy some from me, and then you sell it, and just sort of proceed like that. Or maybe you find some people to sell it for you.
Sounds like a scheme that is shaped
System
like a
is sort of triangular. Scheme is.
Oh god.
Greg wishes to get back to Great Breakspine Peaks and complete Greg's dissertation in yacht and small folk relations.
I feel like that would be a good idea for you, Grug. Thing is, I feel like
Greg more of a lover than a fighter, but that is by high standards of Greg people.
high
You can't
standards.
do this to us, K2! How are we supposed to do anything with these NPCs being so awesome? Wait, I think I
Yeah, if you want to determine if anyone involved in this process is lying, you can try
I
rolling
have sense
if you
motive,
want.
yes.
Briggs is
More
asking in the
like
chat.
if we can.
Yes.
Do we know? Can we see if there are hidden people? Because our drug
See
dealer
if there are hidden
friend.
people is perception.
All right.
Or do you mean like it depends on how they are hidden, but they are not hidden by clever rhetorical moves, certainly.
More
Because
like
that would be sense
hidden
motive.
by self. Because our dealer guy was sweating, so I think maybe he
Okay.
is scared of something.
How about I roll sense motive because I'm trained in it.
I can do that too, but
Sense motive.
I think I'm trying to convince this person. Well, they should be sensing my motive, honestly.
I have rolled a 13.
Okay. You're not sure, really. Let me see. What's this gentleman's bluff? It's probably quite high because he's a merchant.
Yes.
He could roll less than 13. Let me check. Oh. He did roll less than no. He rolled 13, which I think means as the attacker you win. Yeah, he's mostly he's finding that the intimidation factor of bringing Grog along with him is getting undercut by the fact that Grog keeps saying things.
Yep.
And that's why he's a bit shut up.
So
But it's not like actually I think what you also know is he doesn't seem to be like particularly superior to Grog, or Grog does not seem to respect him very much.
Yeah.
But he's like just doing approximately what he says.
Would a diplomacy roll help here in like? Because we don't just want to.
Diplomacy is also for things like asking for information.
Yeah.
And there's stuff like asking for information that is like give detailed advice, reveal an unimportant secret, give lengthy or complicated aid, or reveal dangerous secrets.
Yeah. So that would like because we want where he gets his stuff.
Yeah. Before you do that, Z, This is what I have in mind about manipulating the situation. So you can still do that, but this is what I was thinking of with dealing with this guy. Instead of bringing us someone above him, who he apparently buys things from, I want to intimidate him with the fact that we came here expecting to talk to someone above his head because he told us he does not know where it comes from. And he's trying to put us in business underneath him, and that's not okay. And apparently, his friend is, more inclined to like us because we appreciate his poetry and his prose, just from what he's said. Plus, we have a big friend of our own. So a combination of diplomacy and intimidation to be brought to or told where to find person he gets his goods from, because we are not going to get goods from him.
Right. So what you're trying to do is something like coerce, maybe.
Yeah.
So again, there's behind slightly into the general rules of things. Is that this gentleman has an attitude towards you of indifference, which changes the difficulty of performing acts of diplomacy on him. So if you want to coerce him into acting friendly, it will make the difficulty a bit lower. So if you wish to be intimidating, that's a thing you could try. I would certainly give you circumstance bonuses for having a very dangerous creature with you, and for your own intimidation bonuses, whatever they may be. It's a charisma skill. You can roll it untrained, etc.
Who has the highest charisma of all of us?
I've got a charisma of 14.
I'm on 15.
Some people might have the actual intimidate skill.
I don't think anyone does.
I do.
Oh, nice.
Thump, intimidate this guy for.
Yeah, Thump, intimidate while I'm doing the talking, and then Midnight can
so you could also
see information.
Right. You can also It's a right. The difficulty. I'm just trying to find on my various pages what the difficulties are. I know it's. So yes, you can try to aid each other. Also, that's a DC 10 to give Thumper +2. Which may be far more achievable for you all to stand around and just get behind them and be scary.
I figured Thump would be scary next to me while I was explaining the situation as a combined intimidate.
Yes, I do want to aid in being in Thump's intimidate.
Okay, that's a D20 plus your charisma modifier, assuming you don't have the skill. It's above 10. Yeah, you get a +2 on top of whatever.
It's a literal 16 plus 0.
That's a 12 from me, so that would be a +2 to it as well.
That's a +4 overall. If you want to ask your friend to do that, what's its intimidate? Oh wow, okay. I forget this.
Yes.
I forget sometimes this creature is actually significantly more dangerous than you are. If you want to convince it to be intimidating for you. Actually,
no, we'll
I don't know. If you want to talk to it, if you want, I could change. If you want, I could change his mind.
No, don't change his mind. But while we're talking to him, if you can pull out information from his head that we need, like where his sources are, where he gets his materials, that would be good, and then we can talk about that later. That's kind of what we brought you for.
The merchant, your drug dealer will roll a will save.
Oh dear.
Right, that is actually not enough. Okay. Again, it's not a will save. It's not a will save that you notice actually, which is also why I don't get you guys to roll it. So you get a 21 with your modifier. Riggs, does that include the extra +4? It'd be actually a +6 from because your friend can actually automatically aid you if you want
Nope.
the Corvon.
It is not with all of
So,
those number.
So it's bigger than that.
Yes, it's bigger.
so,
I
so,
rolled 21.
so it's instead it's a 27.
Oh
You're
god.
saying
Yes.
from the plus
Yeah.
6. That's
was
pretty
me.
decent. Let me have a look at what. Okay, so the difficulty of that would be it's going to be this guy is indifferent, which means I believe the DC is 15 plus his charisma modifier. His charisma modifier is.
Who needs
So
magic weapons and experience?
you
We
got
have a thought eater.
Yeah, you have a thought eater. You have a thought eater that is far above your ability to have as a cohort or a minion. But you know, you have a friend. You know, maybe the true power is having friends all along.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't tell it like it can refuse us. And we would probably be like,
actually,
yeah, sure.
Sorry. The difficulty of these checks are actually slightly different. I'll just it never makes the thing on the page bold to say what it is. So it's 10 plus his hit dice plus his wisdom modifier. Which means 16, 17. You beat it by 10, which is fascinating. So if you succeed, if you're successful this, and right, I think if you do it by an extra 5, which you beat the difficulty class, the guy goes kind of pale and sweats a bit more. Meanwhile, Grog seems almost entirely unmoved because I think.
Oh, we're not dealing with Grog. Grog is
we're not
fine.
intimidating
Grog is
Grog is there also though.
Yeah.
That's a thing to be concerned with.
But like Grog
I think
seems
you
to
actually-
But legitimately, I don't think Grug would be scared.
You actually get a bonus
But
or a
we're not
penalty
aiming
depending
at
on the
Grog.
relative size of you and the person you're trying to intimidate, which means that you actually, because Grog is a large creature, and you're all medium creatures.
Yeah. It's
Grog
just
is like 8-9 foot tall. He's pretty big.
Grog doesn't seem to necessarily agree with his employer's views. He's just there as the hired bodyguard. That was at least, like, that's the vibe I'm getting. So we don't necessarily...
Maybe Grog has fun dialogue about it. Okay. So, yes, he goes a bit pale and will, you know, maybe give you some information if you ask questions and crack your knuckles enough.
Do you
Sorry,
want
that was a bit of a palaver.
Roll that
diplomacy? Yeah.
No, I think he's going to start telling you things, and I'm going to tell you if he needs more thumbscrew turning in order to get him to actually say so.
Shard, please help. What do we need to ask him? Sorry, you're our brains today.
So what we need is the contact information and place that you typically contact / get the drugs from to begin with, so we can make contact with that person. Name and place, basically.
Oh, well, I talked to Sister Misery, and she meets me down by the outflow of, and he'll describe a location in the sewers that is a bit deeper than here. It's a slightly sunken and dilapidated building of some sort that is somehow down there.
Awesome.
There's a lot of like just chambers or buildings or various other bits and pieces.
Sure. Where are my deeper names notes? Yes.
Also,
the person he named is Sister.
Sister Misery.
Misery.
Nice. Sadness.
It sounds like my state.
So that is the possible maker of the drugs.
No, it's probably just another of the pyramid scheme. We'll just have to do the same thing to her.
Slightly bigger fish.
What days of the week do you typically meet with her?
Well, It tends to be on. Hold on, I need to look at my calendar. Right, it's the 5th today, so. It would be in this case in a couple of days. It would typically be. That's when he meets her.
Okay. Do you have a means of contacting her in case of emergency, or do you only meet on those days?
I leave messages in a bottle behind a loose stone there.
Cool. Thank you so
Please
much for
don't hit
being
me.
forthcoming.
Yeah, I appreciate the
That
information.
will
This is all I
help
really
you,
want.
Grug.
Oh, Grug. Speaking of help, Grug, I do look forward to hearing and reading your work. It sounds very interesting.
Thank you.
Back to Sister Misery. What can you tell us of Sister Misery herself? Themselves?
She's very creepy and very scary, and I think she lives down there. There's something wrong with her skin, and I go down there as little as I possibly can.
Fair enough.
That,
So, when she's supplying you with the drug, do you have
Just gives
to
it to me
pay?
in bottles.
She just gives it to you. You don't pay for it.
Oh no, I do. Well, I do give some of the profits that I make to her as
Correct.
part of the same drops whenever. But yeah, she's
very
right. I just put
trusting
her.
to just give you stuff and then expect you to give her to give.
Well,
your
she'd
profits to
know.
her.
She'd be able to find me.
I see. I see.
From your previous sense motive, you're pretty sure he is much more terrified. He is scared to talk about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say that if you say her name too loud, she can hear you. I don't think
Oh.
that's actually true, but you know.
Well,
Right.
given that you've
Okay.
said it multiple times now, you should hope that it's not true.
I hope that she'd consider it to be extenuating circumstances, but also I'm kind of concerned. Why aren't you hitting them, Grug?
When you say there's something,
This does not seem like something that Grug need help with. What do you mean? They're yelling at me and being. Do you want Sister Misery to get you?
We're not yelling at
Sister
you.
Misery is one of the old children of the mountains. She will.
One of the old what of the mountains?
Sister Misery, old child of mountains. Yes? Yes.
Oh, interesting. That's information we could use.
Once upon time, children of mountains like Grug, were talked to by the other children of the mountains. Don't know all words. Difficult to tell story. Better
Fair.
in Jotun.
I'm really pissed I don't speak Jotun right now.
Grug, just humor me. Could you speak some words in Jotun and see if I do understand? Because I've had.
He speaks. He says something. It actually sounds kind of. It sounds like it rhymes. What he says, but you do not understand it.
That is a pretty language. Maybe I should try and learn it, but I don't know it.
He's got a nice baritone.
Can the them understand it?
Oh, yes.
Could you
This can speak giant.
perhaps, Grog, perhaps you could tell us the story in Jotun and our friend will translate for us.
I don't think either of them...
Okay.
Do either of them know what we have with us? Like...
Do you want to ask if
No?
they know what this thing is?
No?
No.
It's fine.
Okay. You don't want to ask them if they know what this creature is? They seem both of them seem sort of slightly put off by it.
They don't need to know
wondering.
what our friend is.
Yes. Also, they may be more scared than.
We don't need them more scared than they are right now, do we?
No.
No.
They're
But
fine.
no.
Grug have healthy apprehension about all of this.
Grug, I feel like we will probably work together in the future in a mutual capacity. I appreciate your politeness and willingness to help.
Yes.
Grug find that being helpful its own reward, but also monetary reward useful. Grug have student loans.
Can you tell us the story in Jotun for our friend to translate? Do you want to? You don't have to.
Okay.
In terms
Alright,
of play,
Grug will
be-
do so.
awesome. I was just going to suggest you could.
Oh, now I
tell
just
us-
need to come up with a story off the top of my head.
Well,
Oh,
see,
I'm
that's
sorry.
You can write it up later to put on Discord for us to read,
Yeah, I would be fine
and just
with
give
that.
us like
Mhm.
highlights. But we don't necessarily need it now, unless we're going to skip
Right.
ahead 2 days to go and accost this old creepy woman who is probably a god.
Let's not do that.
Sister misery, not deity. She mortal, but old.
Old.
An old child of the mountains. Yes.
hmm
Yes. Hold on. I actually have some information somewhere, but I just can't read my own headings on this thing to work out where my notes are. That's like 90% of my problems with this.
So valid.
That's very nice of you, but it won't help me find things faster.
You know what'll help you find things faster? Programming your brain to be a quantum computer. Mhm.
It's good that you have such practical advice.
I always forget that painting my nails makes it almost impossible to do things with my hands.
Yeah, the story is, broadly speaking, about creepy creatures that come from out of the rivers in the mountains and try to sell you things for intangible things like your soul or your sense of taste or various other things. And it's all told in a rather it's told in a very allegorical kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to at least partially be a story for young people to not wander off into the wild places and get lost or get killed by demons.
Cool.
And that is the approximate translation that you have.
Nice.
Actually, what skill would it be to work out what Grog is talking about? I think it might actually be knowledge local.
Darn,
weirdly
because I
enough.
have knowledge history. Wait, why would it be local? What about Arcana?
Interesting question.
I would like it to be local because I have a skill for
Actually,
it.
no,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
nature.
obviously. Oh, nature. Dang. Do you have nature?
It's
Bombina,
nature.
rescue us!
Give us that good nature thump.
Nope,
Oh,
I have not. Maybe Bombina has.
Bombina has the fun ability to roll any knowledge. Any knowledge that's got a DC of less than or equal to 20, which I think this technically does. Let me have a look. Yeah, it would be less than 20. So that's within Bombina's ability to roll. Yeah.
Do you want to roll a knowledge nature for us, Alexia?
Have we lost Alexia?
No, because I do not have knowledge nature.
No, but you have the ability to roll any.
No, because I do not have knowledge.
You've got the ability to roll. It's your trait ability from the Department of Waterways to roll any knowledge check with a DC less than 20, even if you're untrained. So even if you don't have any skill. So you can roll that, so just roll and add your intelligence modifier, and I will maybe tell you things.
I don't think a 6 can be salvaged by my intelligence.
Tell me what the total number is.
Hold on. I'm very dumb. It's a 7.
Uh-huh.
Hey, that's better than turning into a 5.
Yeah.
You are not sure, really. It sounds faint. A lot of this stuff sounds faintly familiar, but it's told in such an allegorical kind of way that it's actually quite difficult to work out what is real and therefore could be used to work anything out, or what is false in this case. So you're not sure.
Given that story and how old this Sister Misery is, do you know about the River Killer things that have been showing up in the news and whether or not she could potentially be part of that?
You're asking
Unlikely. Of Grug, or of the drug dealer, or of anyone else?
Of Grug, because Grug seems to know more about Sister Misery than the drug dealer does.
Grug scratches his chin. Not really. She is a nasty one, yes, but not that sort of thing. Sometimes when Grug is walking down in sewers, yes, you can hear distantly someone singing. It is not Sister Misery, Grug thinks, but it is an old song, a nasty song in Jotun. And Grug does not like that. Yes. It is one of the oldest songs of blood and conquest. And Greg can only make supposition, but if anything would be said to be the River Killer, or this strange thing that stalks the underground, that sounds like it.
I love
Does
this.
Does it have a name? This thing?
The thing?
Song?
Or perhaps
yes.
the song?
Is one of the songs of the Titans.
We have people.
Greg's grandmother told him stories long time ago about the Titans that came and ruled all of the mountain children, like myself, like the larger ones. etc. Yes?
Yes.
And they were terrible. But they would not be here. You would know if they were here, yes. This is just an old song that's being repeated. An old, nasty song.
So maybe a follower of the Titans, an old follower who wants to bring them back somehow?
No, they are still out there, just not in command anymore. They are very, very rare, though. Almost myths by most standard.
Well, I can't think of any more questions unless the three of you have any questions.
Not
Yes.
really, I don't think.
Good God, yes. I was wondering, Sister Misery was mentioned having like a skin issue,
Yes.
and I was wondering if you happen to see some more amphibian traits on her.
Oh yes, she
You
is.
know,
She is
kind
one
of
of.
like me, but not like.
She is one of water O's children. Kind of gross, slimy, a bit.
Thank you. That's actually very useful information. And Bambina just pats. Just gives him a pat.
You could probably reach his elbow.
I love that we went to visit a drug dealer and we are now talking to a bodyguard and completely disregarding the drug dealer.
He's pretty fine with that actually, because you also intimidated him severely, and
Yes.
Yeah.
he's just kind of he doesn't want to talk to you either.
I mean,
Yeah.
and Bambina will just turn to like the drug dealer and be like, "Do you want a pat as well?"
Please don't touch.
Also.
Please don't touch me. Can we go, Grug, please?
Right?
No one's holding you here. We appreciate the answers.
Yeah, we're very glad you were willing to help us.
Grug, do you have an address that we can send a letter to or find you at to see about when you finished your writing?
Grug live in student accommodation over by academy. Is kind of inconvenient. Had to get something on ground floor because doors are too small.
Yeah, sounds like it. Well,
Welcome.
we'll be in
Thank
touch.
you.
Thank you so much.
My whole heart.
I'm going to turn to the
Grug
drug
is happy
dealer.
to her.
Also, thank you very much for your information. Maybe we will be working alongside each other in the future.
Well, I hope not.
Me too. And some smiles. Maybe some smiles.
We are terrible people.
Yeah, the guy can't be out of the room fast enough. And Grug will duck under the door as he leaves.
How do you guys feel about leaving a note in a bottle at this abandoned church building to see about setting up a meeting with Sister Misery for tomorrow night.
That works. And then
Hey now, I said it was an abandoned building. Not
Abandoned
everything down
building.
here is a creepy church.
Just most everything?
Not everything has a religious purpose. As I'm sure, again, the archaeologists amongst us will know.
Between Sister Misery.
Not everything you dig up has a random religious purpose.
No, just most of them.
Uh-huh. Actually, that's an interesting question. Were any of you keeping eyes out for bugs? That's something you could just keep looking for.
I would like to keep looking for bugs.
I have completely forgotten about it, but I don't think Midnight would. So yeah, I'm rolling a perception check.
Okay.
18.
As Anna was pointing out in chat, yes, it is. It's ritual purposes. It's all ritual purposes. Everything we dig up for that. We dig up. We start digging in random places, and we find the ritual sewers. Anyway.
Yep.
The ritual water main.
I have rolled a 20.
Okay, is that with
nice, Riggs. Nice.
With the bonuses?
That's with bonuses.
A natural
yes.
20. Okay.
A natural.
So you got a 20. Indeed, the rare and dangerous unnatural 20. By which I mean it happens 5% of the time, like every other number on the die. Right. They have a. Give me a sec to do some stealth. This is you keeping an eye out, and I think on. Actually, it would be the stealth bonus. Give me a second. I'm having long and complicated thoughts. Don't mind me.
If you need, is
yeah.
Can I use the ability modifier, or does that not work? Then it's unskilled.
What do you mean?
Like
if it's if you don't have points in perception, then yes, it's just your wisdom modifier. Perception is a trait you can roll. Perception is a skill you can roll untrained.
22.
I said the word trait randomly. Your total is
22.
My 22.
Yes, my wisdom is 2.
It's plus 2, right. Okay. Let's say these guys were taking 10 for some reason. I'll roll this just to be fair and to give you a fighting chance, because otherwise you really wouldn't. Because these creatures are tiny.
Mm-hmm.
You get massive bonuses for being a tiny sized bug. Hold on.
You're also pretty durable at that size too.
You hiding.
And you can fall from whatever height and survive.
They have massively inflated armor class as well, because like you're trying to hit a bug.
Yep.
Right, let's use this one. That would be.
There's a reason that bugs outnumber us.
Okay. Sorry. Well. Okay, that's very low. What were the other numbers people got?
Oh.
I got a 23 and a 20 from a couple of people.
I got an 18. I'm fine with everyone else seeing it.
Okay.
I know I'm not special. It's okay.
Oh, don't worry. None of you see any odd-looking insects.
Okay. That is sad, but
anyway.
Okay.
Paulina wasn't even looking for it because
you don't see all the bugs
that there are. That it's our friend.
Which friend? You've never met this person.
Our friend of our friend.
Friend of a friend.
The
Might be
gossipy
specified that this was an
dog that
acquaintance.
is cabbage.
Ike.
Oh well, acquaintance, friend, same thing.
Uh-huh.
So, does anyone have any problems with traveling to the abandoned building and leaving a note for Sister Misery?
I think that's a good idea.
I was wondering if there's any more information to glean if we go visit our not our Architect's cute little friend assistant.
I don't think they're. Well, yeah, I was actually thinking we could do that too afterwards. I'd like to set up a meet, but also bring Ergthemitich the information that we have so far learned.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've learned a lot of
Yeah.
information, and that
That's
might
actually
give
really
us. That might actually give them what they want, so that they can give us what they have about the previous 17th. So I'm all on board with going and talking to them as well.
Yeah, I'm good with it
Okay.
too.
Ergthemitich has Anne and other intermediaries at the down market, so you could pop in there, mention that you have information about what was it? It was sorry, you were talking about, yes, we've looked at the stuff about midnight oil, we have a little bit of information about that and what it does.
And a
that
little
sort
bit of
stuff.
information about what the river killer could potentially be.
Right. And one of the in fact, Midnight hasn't seen these people before, so Midnight will note that these people are quite small and they're thoroughly covered in their clothes. They all wear masks, and they're all, they're a bit odd. You don't think you've seen a creature like them, or at least not obviously like them.
Well, I'm in situations
we'll
I've never been before, so that's par for the course.
Yeah, that would work out. So yes, you can pass that information along. They'll say, "Yep, sure, we'll pass that information along to Ergthemitich and see what they say." I'm sure they'd be happy to meet you at some point.
Just let us know.
We can arrange that in future, possibly later this session, if you feel like popping away and then coming back.
Yeah.
And I guess at any point you could tell me you're looking. You can roll perception whenever you want to look for bugs. That's a thing. That's a thing that will totally make you very paranoid and not at all insane.
I mean, I don't mind rolling.
Okay, but can I roll?
Can you
Can
roll?
I roll perception to look for the nice little Architect assistant instead?
Well, we've already met them.
What you mean? They're right there. They're not hiding. You're at their stall.
Oh, I thought it was other tiny little people.
They're not tiny. They're medium sized. They're just quite short. They're like 5 foot tall.
Yes.
Ish.
Pompina knows.
They're the height
Alexia
of dwarves.
is as dumb as. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. Again, things can slip people's minds, and I'm perfectly aware of that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
My
what
mind
else is
has
there?
slipped my own mind. It's fine.
I don't know. I don't know if there'd be anything interesting you were looking at in the down market. There's the normal selection of stalls. There's people selling all sorts of weird stuff that's anywhere between slightly illegal and just stuff they don't want on the surface. There's a dude selling cut-price potions, which seem to have the same table on them that the potions you can get from the low-priced apothecary machine. But I've given you the apothecary machine. There need only be one source of potions. And there's a brightly coloured silk tent off in the corner that seems oddly clean, but that's all that's going on today at the down market. If you want, I can make rattling noises with some dice to make it seem like I was rolling that up on a random table. Anyway, so yeah, you can. It's. Oh.
Well, I would like
to,
if we've done like the dead drop, or I guess we probably need to like think of what we're gonna put in that note, don't we?
Sure.
Yeah, you can make the dead drop. I can even say you made the dead drop, and now you're back at the place. And you can write me your note and give it to me later.
I think that's a great idea.
Do you think
I want to go talk to the coroner that deals with the victims of the River Killer. Do we know who that is?
That's an interesting question.
We are accomplishing a lot today.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, we're just very impatient today. We're so impatient.
I have brain. I'm using it.
Use it or lose it, as they say. Anyway,
I'm not
that would be. Does Thump want to roll knowledge local?
Yes. He wants.
Okay, that's. Or you could use.
Really?
You could even do diplomacy to gather information if you were feeling like it. But if you
Let's
one of
see
you has
how the
knowledge
knowledge
local, that will
level
also give
goes
you
first.
information. Okay.
Wait. Oh, cool. This F. Nope. 23rd.
You are rolling so high.
I rolled 18, and my modifier is 5.
Right.
So.
Nice.
Right. Okay. With a 23, what sort of coroner do you want? Theoretically, if someone was found in an injured state or a dead state, as they are, they would go to the guard. They would have an examination there. Then they would go to typically go to the infirmary, which is that place you went with the horrible, horrible basement.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they would go to the Temple of Tolokline for the last rites, etc. At any point in that process, you could go and talk to them, I guess. Not literally, but at any of those points in the process you could talk to. Tim does know one of the people involved in the final part of the process. So maybe that would be of assistance to you.
Also, maybe we know that does we not know that the victims was dead, so it will make most sense.
You know that the victims are dead.
All right, then it will be most
River Killer.
makes.
It's not River Maimer. River Injurer.
Wouldn't it be the most?
Yeah.
Was you about to say something, Alexia?
You were going to ask
the
something,
most
Lexi?
logical? Yes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be the most logical for like the coroner part to happen at the infirmary, which has like the medical part, rather than at the temple where the last rites are happening? Or is this like a Pathfinder kind of thing where you go to the last rites and they cast Speak with Dead and they do all of the horrible undead shenanigans that the clerics can do? Okay.
Tim knows Stahl, Gravekeeper Stahl, who is a necromancer.
Mm-hmm.
That is what they do at the Temple of Tolokline. You know, in fact, that what Stahl typically does is talks with dead people that turn up to ask them what their last rites are, or what they would prefer.
Yeah.
That's adorable. Wait! Does
That's
that
what-
mean we can ask him to resurrect a victim of the river killer to ask them what the fuck happened?
We could, but I do
I
not
do not
believe.
think resurrection is within Star's power, but he
Yeah,
could certainly talk with them
Speak
for
with
you.
dead.
I'm. It is possible we could ask once we have access to the body if they
If
have
there
not
are
already.
any.
But see, here's the thing. The only reason that he typically does so is to get the last rites from these people. Interrogating and questioning them for information, I'm not sure if that's what they do, because Talakline is not about making the transition more rough for a person, if that
No,
makes
that
sense.
is true.
We can ask, but I don't think that that's going to necessarily be a tool that we can use.
So maybe we should go to the infirmary first and see what they can tell us?
Yeah.
That's plausible. You're not sure if there's necessarily actually, this is a thing Tim would just know. Actually, would Tim just know this? Think, thoughts, distant thoughts. Roll me knowledge arcana. Actually, Tim.
I get to use knowledge. 24.
Yay!
Nice.
The knowledges
Right,
that I
hold
do
on a
have
sec.
are all at 7. Knowledge arcana, engineering, history, and religion. I've
Those
got
are all
some.
such useful skills. The spell Speak with Dead doesn't actually disturb a spirit. It's like talking with their memories rather than
Oh,
talking with
okay.
them.
Well, in that case,
So
then it probably won't be an issue.
they're not. Again, it strikes you as a perfectly normal thing to go to them and ask, in the sort of sense of generally investigating
Mhm.
a series of questions. Honestly, that might be a thing the guard have already done.
Yeah.
At which point they'd probably be able to tell you what the questions and answers were.
So we'll go
If
to
you
the
asked
guard.
nicely and expressed an interest.
We'll go to the guard, which is where the infirmity is, right?
No, the infirmary is just like the hospital.
Okay.
It's a separate place to the guard, who would have done some sort of cursory inspection. And then, if there was any ambiguity or any more complicated stuff, a full autopsy would be done at the infirmary, and
Okay.
then they would have been laid to rest at the Temple of Tolokline.
So we should probably go to the guard first, and then if we don't get the information we need from them, then the infirmary, and then potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just do the circuit.
Okay. To the guard.
Okay.
I do really, in
What
my
I would
brain,
say is that
there's a little a little dust cloud that like follows us through the city, like to the guard.
Yeah, I mean the attendants of Oathimitic will also tell you that you can arrange an appointment for basically whenever. So if you want to do this first, you absolutely can. Or if you want to go talk to Oathimitic now, like now in narrative time rather than in actual time, it would probably take maybe half an hour or so for them to be free. That's also a possibility. Just trying to make sure you know everything you could theoretically do.
Mm-hmm.
It makes an organic sense that would be like, hey, we'll be back in like 2 hours, and so we'll go and talk to the
Okay.
guard, and then whatever time it is, probably head back to go talk to them with Titch, just for an organic feel.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, that would probably be a diplomacy check to gather information. In a sort of abstracted way, you need to find out things like which of the guardhouses were these people taken to?
Yeah.
Who was the most recent person to die, etc. Are there any, is there a big pinboard
rolling
covered in like
my dice in my hand extra for good results. Come on,
Okay.
dice. Oh, nice.
Dice
I rolled
as
a
unfeeling pieces of plastic. The dice do not care, but maybe they do.
yes.
Hey, you say that about the apothecary all the time.
I
I
rolled
say that about
a
myself sometimes.
25.
Okay, gather
And I am-
information. To do this, you must spend 1d4 hours canvassing people at whatever. So this whole process takes about 1d4 hours. If you want to also roll that. Yeah, okay. You
Where's
can indeed
my
find out quite a lot of information. Sorry.
I'll roll a d10, but I need to find it first.
D4. Sorry.
It
Riggs,
If you
takes
want, I can roll that.
2
for you.
hours.
where the fan was, it was catching either a fan noise or a vibration noise when you. Yeah. That.
All right.
What?
Z, you said
That's
a
right.
number? Oh, sorry.
Yes. I rolled a 2, so it's 2 hours to canvas people.
Okay, you managed to
It's
find
less now.
out a bit of information and get to the guardhouse, which has been designated as the place where this stuff is being investigated.
Mm-hmm.
They're not massively keen on, because you are not guard, so you are not particularly like, well, this is an ongoing investigation, that sort of stuff. The river killers' modus operandum seems to be to drown people or partially eat them. So, yeah, we're not really showing these people directly, at least not until it's hardly going to be open casket, as they say. Although, to be fair, the Temple of Tolokline actually have methods to make people look a bit more presentable. Anyway,
Does it
We-
what
help?
kind of
are-
information were you after?
Does it help for us to be like, we're with the Department of Wildlife and we are trying to deal with this? So maybe we can deal with this together.
Oh, right. Are you looking? Okay, so as far as we can tell, the thing has teeth this big, couple of inches long.
Actually,
and
I mean, Midnight is sitting here taking notes on this.
Mhm.
Like, yeah.
okay, this creature. Okay, you get to see some quite gruesome pictures of the crime scenes. In case you're wondering, some sketches.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
of
wait
how
for
some of these
Bambina's
people were
sketches of
found.
this episode too.
Oh yes, fun. Yeah, it's stuff like various people were found, typically either near the river or in the sewers. Some of them were discovered just simply drowned, and I don't know how that necessarily looks if someone has drowned on dry land, but I can just tell you that that's what it means. So yeah,
Wait,
it
they've
looks like they've been
drowned
drowned on dry land.
on dry land.
Yeah, so their
Okay.
lungs are full of water.
Yeah,
And
it basically
they're
looks
not
like a person sleeping.
Yeah.
yeah, basically, depends when they were found afterwards. But
How long it
and
took
then
for them
some
to
of
start
them
rotting
have
and stuff.
been
Yeah.
have also been mauled by, as far as these people and their sort of forensic investigators are able to determine, by something with very large teeth and claws, and is just generally, I don't know, strong enough to pull someone's arm off. Maybe it has hands if it can do that, or maybe it just sort of stood on someone and pulled.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go into more detail? I can.
Maybe we should assume that you have, or at least like in
Okay.
the fiction, and not do it out loud, as to not squick anyone.
That's fine then. It's, there's, again, it's, sometimes people are just simply untouched apart from drowning, and sometimes they're not.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to be that even the people who were mauled were also drowning at the same time.
Yeah.
In case that makes that worse, which it does.
Yeah.
Have you taken any of the found victims to the Temple of Tolokline and had them?
Oh yeah, that's the eventual destination of everyone, I suppose.
Right, but have you had them question about what they remember of their last moments?
Oh yes, yes. We've got some notes about that. Yes. And you can get the report of an interview. It talks about a sudden attack by a big thing. It talks about it maybe having horns and enormous teeth coming out of the darkness. And it's this person who was being talked to was not quite in the state to get fine detail on things, say.
Yeah. No, that's valid.
Yeah, it's stuff like yeah, that's basically all the information you can easily have access to. They don't quite give you full.
Mm-hmm.
This is an ongoing crime thing. We're
Right.
trying to investigate this. They're a little bit about you treading on their toes, effectively, but
Yeah.
Well,
that's the information you get with your 25 in diplomacy.
I mean, if it's an actual um, bipedal murderer, that would be their jurisdiction. If it is a non-bipedal giant monster, that's technically ours, or the Department of Sewers
Well, I
or
think
waterways.
Midnight is also going to be like, hey, if we find anything out through our investigation, we will obviously let you
Oh yeah,
know.
we will obviously share.
Yeah.
Sure, whoever it is you're talking to, if you want to tell me who you're talking to, that would be perfectly reasonable. But whoever you're talking to will say, "Yeah, thank you very much," and we'll keep you in mind if we determine that it's a creature or whatever. It
Yeah.
certainly seems to be quite creaturey, and any help would of course be good. Please tell us if you hear any rumors about it.
Yeah.
Make
Is
sure you
this
give us
like
any information.
is there a creature expert we can go to? Like, because I don't
You wish to
think
find a creature expert.
any of us specifically are experts in like creatures.
Um, no, that would be nature.
Yeah.
But
You
blah
haven't
blah blah
seen this
name.
thing, so
Yeah, I'm hoping that we don't see it. Honestly.
Oximetech might know things.
Yep.
Um,
If the details that we have
but
gotten, even though they're not like direct details, might lead to them actually knowing exactly what it is because they think they know what it is, but they need certain other things
Yeah.
to
Do we want to
quantify
mhm.
that.
cross check this with the infirmary, or do we think this is enough?
I think this is enough. There's no reason for a a cover up. Doesn't
Yeah.
seem like there's a need for a
Yeah.
cover up here.
No. Okay. Let's go to. Oh my god. I need to like practice saying his name not on stream because I get stage fright that I'm gonna get it wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Erximitich?
Oximetic.
Earth
Tick.
Thematic.
Oximetic.
Earth Thematic. Thank you.
You tried very hard. I will.
Yes.
Okay.
I
There you
I,
go.
I think it is good to go and see him. Them. Do
Yeah.
we know their pronouns?
Their hands, the people that act for them, seem to refer to them in a very neutral way.
Okay.
So, you could ask. That's a thing to ask.
Cool.
But it seems to be they them as far as you've
Okay.
been told. So yeah, you can go and meet with Oximetic, one of the people, Anne in this case, the one you met before, can take you down to the large cistern, the large dark cistern where you can see the water gently rippling, and maybe hear a voice coming back out of it. Ah, so you have information for me.
Yes.
Yes. Just to clarify, this is because you said that you needed it in order for us to get the information that was apparently left for us.
Ah, yes, yes. This location where the previous 17th squad purchased from me.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yes, so what information do you have?
So we'll start with the midnight oil. Um, there,
So, oh,
there is a small group who is using it to study dreams because apparently when they wake up from using it, they are thinking that there is prophecies coming from them as they shout out loud something when they wake up from these being stoned, so to speak. And they don't typically remember what they've done.
fascinating.
Huh?
No, it's a
Um,
fascinating thing on Erospisi.
so while we were there, I decided to be a guinea pig myself, and I go on to explain the dream that I had because I do remember it, as well as the three
Uh-huh.
things that I said afterwards after I woke.
And Midnight is going to helpfully
So
add
the
that that Tim was speaking in Aklo, which he does not know.
oh
Ah,
yeah,
yes.
that's the thing that Tim didn't know that they were speaking in Aclo. Yeah. So right, that would so you explained the whole dream, and it wasn't you saying those three things. You said one of them, and the other people who were dreaming at the same time said the
The
other
other
two
two.
things. Not
Yeah.
that matters all that much. Okay. How fascinating. That is a interesting thing, and possibly a dangerous thing that these people are venturing into. The dreams that are here are certainly odd, and the dreams that you speak of are so divergent from them. Fascinating, but good information. I will see what I can think about that in future.
There's one further bit of information that we are also going to be following up on tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have found at least one part of the chain, unless they are the beginning of it, someone who is providing bottles of the midnight oil. And this person is named Sister Misery. We were given
Hmm.
information that this person is one of the old children of the mountains.
Ah, interesting. And the nomenclature there is actually familiar to me.
Okay.
That would that is that makes sense, I think. Do continue.
Would you like us to go ahead and follow through with digging further into the midnight oil? Or is that enough?
I think you have given me sufficient information for me to give you what I know.
Okay.
But if you wish to investigate it and tell me about it in future, I could certainly compensate you. It
Seems
is
appropriate.
yes, you have certainly done me a favor, and
Okay.
I could do you favors in turn through my hands or by myself, through the information I have, or if there's anything you wish to know that's within my purview, you could ask.
Okay.
You could ask now, actually, given that you seem to be, given that you seem to be ongoing, and you have given me more information, I think, than I asked for.
Excellent. Well, if we think of anything, we will. Otherwise, we'll have to hold off until we need information later. Um, as to the river killer,
Yes, that is a dangerous one. You would not want to venture too close to it. From what I understand, if my suspicions are correct, it is truly ancient and a terrible, terrible malice that has lived here since before this was a city, from what I am able to determine.
Well, in terms of one or two of the victims, their response when Speak with the Dead was used was that they were attacked by a very large creature from the darkness with large claws and teeth, which not a very good description to go off of, except, being big. But
One of the things you were told was horns, actually.
Yes.
horns, yes,
You were
and
told that
horns.
Horns, you say. Would it have
Yes.
been? I can hardly draw you a picture, at least not without. Take a few steps back from the edge of the cistern. I will see what I can manage.
Okay. And then I'm going to relay the old nasty song that.
I don't think you didn't actually.
No, I'm going to relay the story of the song. I'm not going to relay the song itself. The story that we learned.
I don't think you were told the song. And if you
just
were
the
to press on
title
that,
of
Grug
it.
really. Yeah, Grug would have told you that it's something to do with the Titans, and he doesn't actually know the words because it's a very okay. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to describe what
wanted.
Grug described to us.
Okay, no, that's fine. Then this grows towards an ever more inevitable thing. This is too close a description to be ignored. And I had my suspicions, and they are almost definitely confirmed.
Well, that's good, isn't it? Because then we can deal with it.
It is not a thing you can deal with.
Oh. Oh dear.
It has been killed hundreds of times over the centuries. And it always finds its way back.
Doesn't like to be dead, does it?
It is not so much that it doesn't like to be dead, as things keep picking it back up. Have you stepped back from the edge of the...
Yeah. While we're talking...
Stepped back from the edge of the cistern?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
The water ripples heavily, and a long tentacle rises out of the murk, goes forwards and sort of draws a symbol or sort of a shape. This sort of blobby, it's not terribly dexterous, and draws like this thing with giant horns that sort of curve forwards from a face with an awful lot of teeth. And it's not a tremendously dexterous piece of art, but it gets an impression across.
Is it
is this sort of shape.
recognize?
You don't think you've seen that symbol before?
Okay.
I'm guessing it's a very, very old symbol.
Does this have
It is not so much a symbol, it is sort of what its head looks like.
Oh, cool. You're going to draw that for us later?
I can doodle, although the audience cannot see me doodle so beautifully. But the approximate shape,
You do it beautifully.
Well, at least we know what to put up on wanted posters so that we don't have to take care of it.
This is...
Does this creature have a name? Something we can refer it by, or so we can research it?
It is known as the Drowned Man, sometimes, or many other epithets that it has picked up over the ages.
Mm-hmm.
It is a truly ancient evil that has dwelt here for millennia, I believe.
Uh, do you think that it has anything to do with the Titans, or is one of them?
No, the Titans are another. Well, the Titans were the rulers of the Titanomachy, the civilization of giants and giant kin that existed in this region long before Cataclysm. But no, Titans were very, very large, and you would know if there were one anywhere nearby.
Unless we're,
They,
living in a city that is on the back of one that is sleeping.
not actually quite that big, but you know, the general the general shape of all these things is interesting. This creature is singular. There is only one of it, and there has only been one of it. It is known as many things: the drowned man, the son of flood, the rotten god of sunken rivers. And it has dwelled in this region for longer than the city has stood.
So ultimately, even if someone was to trap or kill it or lure it somewhere, it would be back again in a century or two when someone dredged it up.
Yes, in fact, what you would probably want to think about is whoever dredged it up, because it would rise with a plan from someone else. It is not a thinker.
I
It is a
see.
blunt instrument, and it is someone's blunt instrument.
Okay, that is something we can work with.
Yes.
How would we figure? I guess we'd have to figure out who all of the victims are and what connections that would lead to. Okay. All right, we have something to go on here.
Well, it may not. The person may not be targeting anyone in specific. They may have a bigger goal, but we can do some research.
It's better than just ignoring a problem.
Yes.
Certainly true. Yes, once upon a time, this malignant and corrupted river-dwelling creature terrorized the goblins of the small walled settlement from before the first Cath even started dwelling on these wooded plains. And even the murderous and ill-tempered ghosts of those ancient woodlands, pushed back by civilization, remember him with a mixture of fondness and trepidation. For the enemy of civilization and civilized peoples is not necessarily their friend.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Did you have questions yourself?
yeah,
I would certainly be willing to share information, should you wish.
outside the location from the that you gave to the previous 27th, um, is there anything that you can tell us about the old children of the mountains and how to deal with them without getting their ire? Because the Sister Misery seems to scare the person that we talked to initially, so I'd like to at least, come across in a good way and on the right foot.
Yes, the old children of the mountains are sometimes called hags. They are Old. Yes, and the nomenclature calling herself Sister Misery is that's the right nomenclature. That's sort of how their names end up being most of the time. So
Okay.
yes, they are simply dangerous creatures, but they are intelligent creatures. You could probably talk to them to some extent, although they are possibly unwilling to talk to you, and you may not have anything you wish to part with that they would want to purchase.
Fair.
I do not know this Sister Misery, and therefore do not know much about what their banes would be, what they wouldn't wish to speak about, what they wouldn't wish to have, what they would want. They seem to be interested in selling this midnight oil, which is certainly odd,
They
but I
were
don't know what
very.
scheme this would be part of.
They're even parting with it without being paid for it immediately, which seems
I would suspect
odd.
that your sister Misery would be confident in her ability to find someone who trespasses against her.
Well, then we know to be careful and polite.
Many of
Is
them
there
have quite potent magical powers,
is
although
there
it varies.
a specific way to be polite to a hag? Like,
I would suspect it is much the same as being polite to anyone else.
okay.
Although they tend to be malicious creatures, not all of them. Not all of them, certainly, but I certainly think the local ones that are selling potent and dangerous substances are perhaps not the sort of ones similar to. I believe it is in a city far, far to the west of here, where there is a coven that does public works and sells things like medicines and useful things like that. So it is not quite that. If they are skulking around in the deep sewers and selling strange dream-enhancing substances. But I don't know. They are all individuals, and even the various varieties are different to each other.
Well, we will find out and come tell you.
I would be
think having
interested in knowing such information.
I think
Oh,
having an
sorry.
open line of sharing information between the two of us seems like a really good relationship. I think this will work out great.
Thank you for your assistance. Anne will hand you the information that I gave the original 17th squad.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You're a wonderful friend.
If there's anything else, go ahead.
It's
Can
a
I-
friend who has. Oh, sorry.
Can I roll a perception check for bugs?
Yep.
Everyone, do it. Do it, everyone.
Uh-huh.
I rolled a 22.
Uh-huh.
Me too.
You got a
19.
22? Okay. Uh-huh. Actually, it would be... Okay, actually. Yeah, Midnight and, Thump, you manage to spot a small, like, isopod-like creature clinging... Actually, yeah, you've both got dark vision, so you actually see the small isopod-like creature clinging to, like, the arch that leads into the cistern. that's sort of shoved between the brickwork, and seems similar to a bug you've seen before.
If I would want to catch it, how would I go about that?
Oh.
Interesting question. Oh god. Interesting question. By which I mean,
Hmm.
you would need to hit it with an attack, basically.
Oh wow.
You just sort of slap your hand over it.
Yeah, I don't want to harm it. I just want to catch it.
You can give it a try.
How do I roll for that?
Roll to hit. If you wish to merely,
If you wish to not
yeah,
harm
roll.
it.
Yeah, I think it's actually. Is it? What did you roll?
I'm rolling right now. To hit is just a d20, right?
Yep. I have. Let me look at the complicated rules.
I'm not
Hold on a
gonna be able to catch it. I rolled an 8.
What is that with your bonus?
What is
Actually.
my bonus dexterity?
Oh,
right?
is that? Yeah, that would be you add your dexterity bonus and your base attack bonus. So your base attack bonus at first level is probably 0 because you're not a full base attack bonus character, and then your dexterity bonus. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be a 11.
Okay. You slap your hand down at it, and it skitters out of the way. You have one more attack in this sort of pseudo round that I am doing, so you
Okay.
can try that.
I will try again. Cause I may as well.
Hold on.
Like, I'm not harming it. I'm
Honestly,
I'm just trying to work out if it gets
Can-
some massive bonus for being a small creature if you're trying to grapple it, which is such a weird thing for me to say.
I would
You're
like
trying to grapple
counter
this
that.
tiny creature.
I would like to counter
Well, that's-
that with I am a cat.
I was gonna say that's
Yeah,
why
no,
I'm
this is-
amused.
Yeah.
This is extremely cat behavior. I
Yeah.
assume your pupils are massive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man.
I rolled a 22.
Uh-huh. You get it. You
Yes.
slap your hand over it, and you have it in your hand.
Okay.
It is
Please,
wriggling.
please don't do any more cat behavior and do things that cats do to bugs.
No. I'll just have it in my hand, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, bud, were you listening to us?"
The bug is a bug. It cannot respond.
Fuck.
It continues to wriggle.
I
I mean,
have
the bug might be. If the bug was intelligent, you have no idea how it can communicate.
yeah.
Maybe it can write things.
I do have
Just
handle
put it in some ink or
animal.
something.
Would that help me in this situation?
This. No. I'm afraid.
No.
Actually, one of the things you do notice, now you're holding it, and now maybe there's some light on it, because some of you guys aren't actually dark vision-y, and there's some torches around. You notice actually that it's got this odd effect where it can change colour and texture. So it used to look like brickwork, a little, and now it looks a lot like your hand.
That is so cool.
I
It's
think
not quite got the right. It's not quite got fuzzy texture. It's just sort of. It looks quite.
It's got like
really
the
very
paw
good at blending in.
pads, but not the fur.
I think Midnight.
Yeah,
if this is if this is Ike's acquaintance, it's not necessarily going to communicate in the same way that we can. It doesn't have lungs and a mouth.
We still have the them with us, right?
Yeah, we never. No. We would
No.
have had to. Huh?
Actually,
Because
that's
I
an
would have to
interesting question.
retcon a
Would you-
number of things. We would not have been able to bring them to the guard. We
No.
would have had to take them from
Yeah, that's
and
right.
drop them off. So
I'm
You
also
can, no, if you wanted, if you want to tell me you picked them back up again when you came back down,
okay,
that's fine.
okay.
I
I just
will
know
let
we
I will
wouldn't
let you say that happened.
Okay.
But I also am going to assume that you left them at your headquarters while you went and
Yes.
caroused for a bit.
Yeah.
Yep, you are holding a bug. The bug is still wiggling. Eventually, I'll try and get it to roll an escape artist or something.
Tell it to stop.
Can I'm gonna look to them and be like, can you talk to the bug and ask it if it's listening in on us?
This can try.
You're
And it
being
will.
so
Actually,
nice.
maybe a thematic would have had some comments if
Yeah.
what the creature would do.
Yeah.
I mean, Midnight is standing here with a bug in their claw and talking to it.
Well, the Midnight's also talking to the giant thought eater in our
That's
midst.
not that. It's medium sized. It's human sized. I say that it's intimidating because it's a dangerous creature. But right. So what would it? This creature is far from the rest of it, and thus is complicated in the way it thinks in a way that is hard to translate.
But it is listening.
This is like talking to someone's. This is like talking to someone's finger.
I think you should probably let it go then.
Yes, I'm gonna.
We'll get our chance to talk to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You actually hear a splash, and a different tentacle has risen out of the water, and this one, instead of having spikes on the end of it, actually has like a cluster of eyes and is looking very closely at you guys.
Yeah, I'm actually okay. So before I put the bug down and like let it go, I'm going to show it to the tentacle and just be like, "Yeah, we saw our friend talking to these bugs, and they seem to be listening in on our conversations, which is strange."
So the tentacle will drop down into the water, and ripples will travel away into the water, presumably as that's a thematic moving around. You're not sure. And then I guess you'll get a response. Ah, interesting that you brought a coalborn with you. Where did you find that?
It was right there.
Huh. Interesting. So it is quite far from home, I suppose, down by Aklathaka and the rest of its kind. That is an interesting thing to consider for the future. And that insect, well, I would hardly call it an insect. That is I only know of one creature in the city that is like that. And they're an interesting person to talk to.
From what
So
I
I
got.
do have information. Oh, sorry.
No.
Carry on.
Continue.
I see. Yes, that is an appendage of a creature that is. The term is. It depends on what you want to use to refer to them. Sometimes they are called Budaraki. Sometimes they are called many men. Sometimes they are called myriads.
You need to
They
talk
are
slower. I
creatures.
cannot take notes.
I apologize. I will say this slower. Sometimes they are called Budaraki. Sometimes they are called many men. Sometimes they are called myriads. Also, I'm using words, and some of them are made up, so I guess that would make it extra confusing.
Don't worry about it. I've written something down and I'll be able to ask you about it later.
Wonderful. Imagine... that is an interesting question. Imagine you know that Your Coalborn friend is one of a large group of creatures
Yes.
that all think very similarly. Now, Coalborn are separate beings. Imagine a creature that wasn't separate beings.
Oh.
That every part of and actually the Coalborn will chime in with some words. I have more rambles. I have lots of rambles written down for your Coalborn friend, and you have only accessed some of them.
Look, we want to access them as slowly as possible so that they have a reason to stick around. Because once they run out of information to give us, they might run away.
we can't shake you for the lore to come out constantly. We have to pace
Yeah.
ourselves.
Imagine,
No.
your fingers are part of your hands, and your hands are at the end of your limbs. Your limbs are connected to your trunk, and so forth. The body is created of smaller parts. You cannot be divided up and still live and act, not like the Vudarak, sometimes called the many men, can. But you are a whole made of impermanent parts. Such as our hive, many bodies as part of a whole. Yes. Yes, this
sounds very discomforted by the Colburn being here.
They aren't actually. They know that they're far enough away that
Okay.
it can't be telling you about things.
Yeah, no, that's
Yes, that is a creature that lives somewhere around here. They are. I am acquainted with them.
I think
I suppose.
knowing that, Midnight is actually going to be more careful putting it down and saying, "I'm so sorry for catching you," because knowing that you are a part of a being, I don't want to hurt you, and I'm sorry if I have, and put them down or let them let them go.
Do not be too terribly concerned about that. Javarakash has approximately the emotional attachment to any one of its creatures as you do to a fingernail.
Still.
So that's about the same as you plucking a hair off of someone's arm.
Yeah, I also don't want to accidentally hurt someone, even that small, so yeah.
That is very civic-minded of you. The little creature just scuffles away and out of sight very quickly. It has a massive stealth score, and due to its size and the fact that it can change color.
Bombina will just scream after it. Please tell yourself to come meet us. Like to chat. Like.
Oh god, is this swarm of insects now gonna show up at the headquarters?
This is honestly gonna end up being
the weirdest thing we had in our headquarters.
That's true. But this isn't a game of us going around and beating things up. This is a game of us making friends with big, powerful things to do and learn things that we shouldn't have any access to.
It's
I don't
the
know,
best
maybe that's
game
the
in the
intent.
world. I am so happy.
I'm glad you like it.
Joy. Okay, there's a lot of joy.
Do we think
you are trying to yell at a bug? You have successfully yelled at a bug. You're not sure exactly how things get
transmitted,
but presumably they do.
Yeah.
Is that like talking to someone's ear? Maybe.
Yeah.
So, it is running up at the time that we were planning on ending today. Do we want to end on something specific, or do you want to share what the information that we earned was, or how do we want to do this?
I will tell you what the information you the information you earned is a location, and that's it. It's again, it's a location and directions to get there. and that is just the abstract way of saying that's a place you can now go to.
Okay.
Apart from that, you can ask Oak Thematic a couple of questions. You can get those to me over the course of the break.
Sure.
And I don't know if there's anything else you quickly want to ask or mention. Apart from that, I'm perfectly willing to say your meeting with Oak Thematic comes to an end. You now know a handful more things.
What were you
I
saying,
want
Z?
to ask the
Mhm.
assistant about Sister Misery.
The assistant.
She'll be like, okay,
Oh no.
yes, because the assistant is also a watery creature that lives in the sewers and has more odds of knowing about another
I'm
watery
not a
creature
hag.
that lives in the sewers than me, a watery creature that doesn't live in the sewers.
Oh, I'm not
You get
actually.
the logic?
I'm not a hag. I guess I'm a Herodinian.
I know you're not a hag. It's just like.
Okay.
um, it's just, you also, I assume that it's easier, like, you might maybe have more information than, and like, Bombina just gets very red in the face and is like, oh my god, I regret every single decision I have ever made. And she's like, I was wondering if maybe you knew more things, and if you don't, that's okay. Like,
Well,
I
Oak
will
is
say
the
bye
person that
now.
knows things. Bye?
Archimedic is not an amphibian, and we are.
You
Oh,
don't
Oak
know
is an
that.
amphibian. You like, you can see that they
You're
mostly
a
operate
fishy person,
underwater.
and I'm a fishy person. We're both fishy people.
I
You're
mean, it
making a
depends on
lot
how you
of
define person, but Oak is, well, partially aquatic. Um, they're not actually amphibious, but they live in aquatic places. I think. I'm not really
Yeah.
I'm not really that well versed in the ecology of thematic, I guess.
This is such an awkward conversation.
I think
So
Midnight
you
is like
wanted to
standing here going internally like, does Bombina have a crush? What's
That's what I
going
was
on?
thinking.
Yes! Thank you! It's what I was trying to roleplay here! Thank you so much!
I was like, this is the most awkward flirting ever, and it's going wrong.
I love it.
so
She's trying to make a friend, and she failed the last time catastrophically. So I was like, this time I'm gonna do better, and I did.
Oh, poor Bombina.
All right, I think that's a good note for us to just wrap up and.
okay, I can get the closing crawl ready.
Yes.
Well, that went down like a lead balloon, I suppose. I guess Anne seems mostly nonplussed rather than slightly confused. Anyway, was there anything else people wanted to say?
Yes, we need to
Quickly?
plug that we are 2 followers away from 400
Oh yes,
followers. So if you have someone who can
please
follow
follow
us,
yeah, go threaten them until they follow us. Yes, that's the
Yes.
official line from us.
threaten them with the River Killer. The
yes.
Threaten them with the possibility of being subscribed to a lovely channel which somehow hosts just like us being incredibly awkward,
Yep.
apparently.
Mhm.
Us
Anyway.
shaking the Game Master for lore.
Oh, I've got so much more lore. I honestly think a lot of the time I'm emitting too much lore, but apparently there's more
No,
in the
no,
bucket.
you are not emitting too much lore.
we just
fine
wear the
then. I will
appropriate
keep
amount
going.
of lore screen to keep it
Yes.
from damaging our skin.
You've yelled at a sentient bug. You've tried to flirt with someone who says that she says she's a Herodinian, whatever that means. I can get you the proper spelling of that if you want at some point. And that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Coming up next week on Hint Plays, it's the same thing every week, and yet I still manage to forget. Hold on.
Fuck?
Look
I
at
don't
thing.
know either.
No, it's the same thing every week because I don't think anything's changed.
No,
But
it
it's,
hasn't. And yet.
There has been
it's
a
the same-
change though, so I do need to know what it is.
I'm almost at the
Oh
calendar.
right, it's a in the 28th next week it will be a new set of one shots.
Yes.
Oh yes, Drut will be running a Call of Cthulhu one shot. Right.
Okay.
So I wasn't.
And the week
So
after
in fact,
that.
I didn't know what was going on. And the week after that will be the Promised Land run.
Actually, the
Chrono?
Promised Lands, the Promised Lands by Chrono is on hold because
Okay.
it's come up against some issues here and there.
Okay, this thing is full of lies, and I will ignore it. So
Yes.
okay,
It's a recent development, so
okay, that's fine. It's full of lies. Apparently, part 2 of that one shot may happen. We're extremely organised, by which I mean I haven't been paying attention.
no
Some
worries,
of our
Chrono.
players are also
It's-
streamers. Please plug yourself in the chat if you are. I think some of you are. I technically am. I have a Twitch account. I have streamed with it. I may eventually stream some more art if I have time or inclination. And they're all well worth a follow because they put up with me somehow, talking about big tentacles underwater and stuff like that.
I think it's a mutual putting up with.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's fair enough. If you like what we do, you can get involved by following us and by donating. Please follow us. We are 2 away from world domination or whatever it is. 400 followers.
Same.
Exclamation mark donate for the donation link. We have a Discord where streamers and gamers can chat, plan, and support each other. Exclamation Discord will get you the link there. The various people are very quickly putting that in the chat, so it's all very lovely. Thank you again for watching, and someone will see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.